Rock Salt Musecast Experience with Aaron and Dave. And Aaron on the phone on the Zoom call
from Portland, Oregon.
Chris from Fallstar.
Yes.
Woo! Oh, I love it.
Oh, studio audience.
Thank you.
Especially for you, Chris.
Yeah.
Especially for you.
There's so many of that. How did you guys pack them in your studio like that? It's insane.
We feed them for free. That's it.
Oh, it's tight.
It's as I told the protest, man. Free is free. Free tickets and they come. Free is free.
Oh, man. Hey, first I want to ask him, you just were on tour. How did that go?
Oh, it was awesome. It was probably one of my favorite runs we've done. And we did like a really short one because with COVID and everything, we just didn't know how the response would be. And so we only did like 7 or 8 days. We went with the Undertaking and Lightworker, who are like solid state bands. And we just had so much fun. And then the run was probably a little less attended than what we normally draw. So I think it might have been too early for smaller bands like us to go out, but we only did a week. So we didn't we were kind of playing it safe. But yeah, we planned it back in February. So we were like, COVID will be done. We're getting the vaccine in April. We'll be fine. But it was still like my favorite tour I've ever done. Like, it was so fun.
And in Portland, you guys you still have a lot of restrictions when it comes to COVID, right? I mean,
well, every single tour or every single venue was vaccine required or a negative test. Yeah.
Is Portland still, under a lot of lockdown restrictions?
No. They do like require outside spaces to have masks, but it's just like whatever you feel comfortable with. Like if you show up to the park with your kids and the other people aren't wearing masks, then you're like, yeah.
Aaron and I, we went to this Aftershock festival they have here in Sacramento, 50,000 people. And I don't know that I saw anybody wearing a mask.
Yeah.
It was very limited that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you had a great time on tour. Touring your new album and which is fabulous. I really like your new album.
Thank you.
The new album is called, Chris?
Sun Breather.
Yeah. And, now you guys have been putting out music since like 2011, right?
2007 was our first.
2007.
Yeah, but it wasn't uploaded to Spotify until 2011. So that's probably why it shows that.
I saw the 2011. Yeah. Right, 2000.
Yeah,
that's a long time.
We started as a band in 2005. So it's just been a long time.
You're coming up on your 20th anniversary, man.
I know.
That's crazy. It really is crazy because it doesn't seem like it's been that long since 2005. Wow.
I know. Yeah, we'll have a 30th and a 40th anniversary too. There's no reason to quit.
Just keep it going, man.
Yeah, we will. We'll keep going till no one's listening and we're just doing it for our own selves.
I see.
Well, you got a family act too, right? Because it's you and your brother on guitars, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your brother Brian.
Yeah. I write and stuff on guitar, but then live I just sing and scream.
Oh, okay.
And then we do like the robot guitar for live for my parts.
Gotcha.
So I like track it and then we play it through the computer through my Roland amp.
Have you found that timing it and syncing it all up is a challenge, or does it really just kind of flow on stage?
Yeah, it's really easy. At first it was hard, but our drummer's been doing it like that forever. And like, we've been doing it that way for the past maybe 6 years. So like, it's just longer than that, maybe 8 years. So it's just like second nature to us and it feels really good. It's stressful, like getting all the computer stuff right before tour, but once it starts, then it's like really easy to go.
Once it's flowing, you're in the zone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked to another band. They don't have a bass player. So they just track everything to the.
And they said the same
bass.
thing. That was dispraised, right?
No, the protest.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the protest does that. I think Disciple does that too.
They've got a robot bass player, is what he said.
Yeah, it's great.
Hey, if it works for you, man.
It's so much more fun touring with 4 people rather than 5, because 4 in a van, everybody can have their own seat and stuff. And
right.
It just makes more sense.
Well, you get that short little U-Haul trailer, and you can just put the fifth guy in that.
Yeah.
Get in the box.
Bass player trailer.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, the bass player trailer.
Oh,
get in your box. Oh, so now you're playing. Well, you're out of Portland. Do you play? Do you find you're playing a lot of West Coast shows, or do you make it all over the country? And
we used to do national tours, but these days, like, we can't go out for really long periods of time just because we have kids and stuff and jobs. So we just mostly stick to West Coast tours. Gotcha. Sometimes we'll do something Midwest, but we don't really want to go out for longer than 10 days at a time.
I totally understand that.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing the kids are not old enough that they're going to tour with you like Skillet's kids tour with them or anything like that. Keep them in school.
Yeah.
Unless you make it Skillet money, and then you can just bring a teacher with you.
I know. Those guys do real well.
Yeah.
We go further out if it's like flyouts, and then we can like reach farther places, but that's only like overseas and stuff. Like we don't travel like to the East Coast or anything really ever anymore. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you find your fans out on the East Coast miss you?
Yeah, we get lots of comments about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just so hard to justify going out there. It's just like so
there's expensive. A lot of expense that goes into a tour, man. Yeah, you're packing up 4 or 5 people and all your gear and heading out east.
And that'll kill like 2 days minimum for just driving. 2 days if you're like going straight, like all night, all day. So like, yeah, I mean, we'll do a festival out there if they want us out there if people are digging the new record and stuff, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's cool. And you do a lot of crowdfunding to get your records going.
Yeah.
So now you were telling me off air, because I asked you about Rat Family Records. Rat Family's still going, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So that's your own label. Okay. And so how does this all work? Because you're on Frontline Records.
Face down.
Oh, Face Down. Face Down. Sorry, I looked wrong.
That's cool.
Face Down Records, and I'm sure they want their cut as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's we figured it out with them, like, because when we did our Backdraft record with them, we got like a standard budget for that day and age, which was like a lot of money, but that record did not sell very well at all. So then we did one on our own through Rat Family, and that one did pretty well. And then this Sun Breather one, since we decided to crowdfund again, it's less risk for the label, but they still help us out a ton on the back end, like with marketing and with like they have connections with Sony and stuff. So they helped get some of our songs playlisted on the bigger Spotify playlists. And that helped a ton. So like we're both pretty happy with the arrangement that we have, and they don't take a huge risk on the recording. And like our fans are really happy to help us like make sure our music gets out still. So it's kind of a win-win. And like the record recouped within like 2 months because there wasn't much to recoup, because like most of it was paid for from the crowdfund. So it's like a really economical way to go.
So I'll get into the business side of this for just a minute, because I'm a little fascinated with this. So do you find that Face Down is easier to deal with, seeing that they don't have to put up as much of a, initial investment to get the record going? You've done a lot of the legwork for them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they don't ask anything of us. Like they just, they want to have just the record available, and then they push it really, really well, like way better than we can do. And like, we don't know marketing stuff, and they put a decent amount of money behind it to make sure it's successful. But yeah, I mean, our contracts are just 1 album contracts. Like we're not like there for like 3 album deals like most bands are.
I don't know that a lot of bands are doing long-term deals like that anymore, are they? I mean, the landscape of the music industry has changed so much since Napster stepped in, and now you have Spotify and Apple and, you know, iHeart and all this stuff where people have music just at their fingertips without having to run down to Tower Records and spend $100 on a bunch of CDs.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the labels that we talked to other than Face Down, they were all like three album contracts. So we were like really happy with just the one record contract with them. And I think they're happy for it too. And yeah.
So
we just keep renewing it.
Does that give you more control over the content and the music, or?
I mean, no, like they just like, it's not that they don't care, but they just really want the artists to make what the artists are doing. Like they're so hands off. It's crazy. Like that's awesome.
That's really fantastic.
Yeah, they're such a pleasure and a joy to work with. And like, there's only like 3 of them technically at the label now. So I talk with them all the time, and like, it's just, that's awesome.
That really is awesome because, you know, trying to explain it to all sorts of people, what you're doing is your art. What I'm doing is my art. And, you know, when I worked at radio stations, there was always somebody's hand in there going, "No, don't say that," or "You should say this," or "You need to do it this way," or something like that. And it just sucks all the creativity out of you to the point where it becomes a job.
Yeah.
And you can hear that with a lot of bands, and I'll throw out some, just some mainstream bands, Tesla being one of them, because they're one of my favorite bands. But you can hear the difference in their albums from start to where they are now, where they're doing all their stuff now, and it's less like a job and it's more like they're just enjoying their art. Corporations tend to suck the creativity out of the room.
Yeah. There's no one telling us we need to make a song for Octane Radio or anything like that. Like it's just whatever we want to do.
Are you getting played on Octane?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't know though. I don't know how you check that stuff, but I kind of doubt it.
I'm going to get in here. I found them through Face Down Records Instagram page.
Yeah.
They were promoting your tour.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, Sacramento, because you know, me and Dave love going to shows.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, we 15, 20 shows a year. We try, you know, and sometimes we accomplish it, sometimes we don't. But that's how I found you. And then it happened to be that you were going to be in Sacramento during the Aftershock. So we could not attend. And so I told you, next time you guys come down to our way, we'll do everything possible to come out and see you guys play. But yeah,
that'd be awesome.
It's great that Face Down just pumps all you guys when you guys are going on tour. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, it sounds like a great relationship.
Yes. Yeah, definitely something we want to keep going forever, just because it's just working really well. So
well, I'm gonna geek out for a minute here, Aaron, because I see, Chris, that you got some of your axes in the background.
Yes.
And I don't know if you can move your camera or not.
Yeah.
If not, that's cool. But I do see a Telecaster, and is that a Gibson?
Yep. Explorer.
Okay. And then you got your Stratocaster back there.
Yeah, that Telly, the white one, is a baritone. So I put a 27-inch neck on there. It's got the bare knuckle pile driver pickups. It's pretty nasty.
I'll bet you that sounds pretty grungy, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's kind of too opened up. Like, I don't know if I'll use it for the next record. I made it so I could have a different tonal variety for that, like drop F sharp stuff, but it's just too wild sounding. So I'll keep with the EMGs. Well, let me show you.
Yeah, do it, man. I would.
Oh man.
If you plug that thing in, I would absolutely love to hear that.
So this one is a weird one. This is a Squire 51. Okay. And then they made like, this was the first original design that Squire China made. So it's like a cross between an old P bass and like a Stratocaster body. And then I was
going to say, it looks like a bass.
Yeah. And I put the super distortion in here. And they made like so many of these. They were blowing them out on overstock.com for like $79 each. Like, but now they're like a cult guitar. Like people really love them. But if we ever do anything in drop D, like we did a cover songs album and I just used this guitar and it sounds so good. But this is not any of the Fallstar ones,
okay.
But this is Sunbreather was tracked on
look
this.
at that.
It was just this baby.
Look at that beauty, Aaron.
Yeah, just the EMGs. It's a Stephen Carpenter 7-string. And I don't need 7 strings. I could take that top one off because I don't really do much leads. But but yeah, it's like I got this for $550 and it just sounds so good. And then,
yeah, you know, sometimes the least expensive guitars are some of the best ones. I used to have a Fender Stratocaster Squire.
Yeah.
Bullet. It was a Bullet.
Bullet.
Yeah. So it's like a starter guitar.
Yeah.
The thing weighed like a pound. I mean, it's
super light.
And man, it had a great tone. I mean, I didn't expect much. I got it for $75. I didn't expect much out of it. It became one of my favorite guitars.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys have heard of the Ongoing Concept, but they're also Tooth and Nail solid state band. But they Dawson, I'm good friends with him. He's their singer and he writes all their music and stuff, and he plays guitar. And he bought his guitar went out, and so he went and he bought a Bullet Telecaster just off the wall at Guitar Center, and he toured on that guitar for 4 years.
That's crazy.
And he eventually threw it into a dumpster after a show because it shocked him really bad because the wiring was kind of bad. But 4 years on a Bullet, didn't change anything. Tuners,
and you get them for like $100.
They're so cheap. But the quality of guitars has gone way up. Like Squires when I was in high school were so garbage.
Yep.
And now I'm such a fan. But this is the last one I'll show you. This is a 30-incher. So it's technically like a bass 6, but I put in some pretty badass pickups in it. And so this is for like the drop E songs. So like the E1 songs for our new record. I just had to get that extra 3 inches to be able to hold tension. But this is a really weird guitar, but it sounds cool.
Who makes that?
It's Sub-Zero. It's like the in-house brand for, I think it's Tommen, the UK based Guitar Center type.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like,
Now we're getting deep. I'm out of my element.
They're really low quality. Like when this came, it had like chips and stuff, and like the binding isn't real binding. It's like this plastic stuff that I shaved with a razor blade, and I had to get a new nut and like do a lot of work to it. But I still only put like maybe $600 total into the guitar to make it what it is, and it's way cheaper than if I was to go find something equivalent.
Yeah, but it's unique to you because you created that tone and sound.
Yeah,
you know. And the
awesome.
other thing that's great about these cheap guitars, man, is that you drop that thing on stage, or you pull a Billy Joe and decide to destroy the stage with your guitar. You're like, I'll buy another one at Guitar Center.
And get it right back.
Yeah. So how old were you when you started playing guitar?
20. Yeah.
Okay.
I started playing
late in life.
Very late. Yeah. I started playing bass at 15 because I wanted to be Mike Herrera from MXPX. So I played bass in punk bands and then screamo bands later. And then I was just like, I want to write music better than with just a bass. Like I want to be able to write leads and all this stuff. So I started at 20. Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty late.
Yeah. See, I started a few years ago. I started way late. I started in my 40s. And I got a collection of guitars, but I'm just a horrible guitar player.
I mean, I can't shred either. I mean, like I play really simple stuff, and like the stuff on the record is pretty simple, but I think the composition is everything. Like,
yeah. I play Wish You Were Here from Pink Floyd really well. If anybody's a guitar player, you know that's a pretty easy song to play. We're gonna come back and talk to Chris some more about Fallstar and everything you got going on, and you got a new crowdfunding going on, so we want to talk about that for sure. But we're gonna do a Fallstar song right here.
Cloud Chamber.
All right.
Heck yeah.
My favorite song.
Nice.
Thank you.
So yes, on the album.
It's the Rock Salt Musecast experience.